Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Focus TV. As always, got Octavia Wyatt, Cardell Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpey Jr. We got quite a bit to get through, but we want to start off. Russell Westbrook had a historic night last night, so before we even get into that, I know Ray got a lot to say about it. We want to go ahead and let Russ talk to you guys. He addressed the media after his big night. Let you guys get a couple minutes of that.
Broke the franchise record tonight for most triple doubles in the history of the Wizards in bullets. And I know it is not the first triple double record you broke him, but I'm just wondering what that means to you in the grand scheme of things.
I think one thing that I always cherish and enjoy about this game is that you get to go out and compete and play every level. That's one thing I always try myself on, is making sure I leave it all on the floor every single night. And I've been blessed with an opportunity to be able to do that. And I don't take it for granted. And along those lines, different records and different things may happen. But one thing I always do is stay humble, stay true to myself, and always continue to give everything I have and pride myself on being, creating some consistency for my teammates.
And I'm curious to get your perspective on you put up, as good rebounding numbers for a guard as any guard who's ever played the game. What would you say makes you a good rebounder?
My timing, ability to go get it. As much as people talk about it, as much as people mention it and don't like to mention it, it ain't easy to do, man. But always make sure that it allows me to be able to start the break, get the ball and go. Timing, obviously, being athletic helps me and be able to get it. But I don't, know if anybody's better at my size at rebounding the basketball consistently.
Ava.
Russ, you kind of always stay such straight on your course with us and everything when we ask you about the records you break and things like that. When people in your life congratulate you, or like when Coach Brooks talks to you about nights like this after the game, how do you respond?
I'm just very thankful, man. We got an unbelievable group of guys in the locker room. And a lot of times when people, break records and things like myself, I don't deserve the credit, honestly. For me, I always give credit to the man above for blessing me with the abilities to play. And along those lines, I have so many great coaches and teammates that make my job easy and help me out, because assists don't happen. I can't make the shots and different things of that nature and make the game easy for me. And a lot of guys sacrifice some of their own goals and some of their things they want to accomplish and making the game easy for myself. So I always give thanks to the coaches and to the staff and to everybody in the organization, to my teammates especially, for allowing me to go out and do what I love to do.
And we ask you a lot about Rui, but what do you think has been the key for him in kind of keeping this consistency now with his level of aggression that we're seeing?
You said it. His aggression. When he's aggressive, miss or make, our team is better. And I think he's figuring that out. And it's my job to make sure I continue to push him each and every night to be aggressive, because when he puts pressure on the defense, it's a different game, different ball game for us. And, you've been seeing that consistently from Rui, which has been beneficial for us.
Thanks, Russ.
Matt.
Hey, Russ, at what point in your career do you feel like you had that kind of complete control of the game, the rebounding, the assists, when it all started to come together for you?
I don't know. I always feel like I can impact the game in many ways. And I always felt like I'm able to do things that nobody else can do on the floor. And I just believe that when I step on the floor every night. And I don't know when that was. Obviously, based on the personnel I had and teams I had to do different things, whether score more, pass more, whatever it was. But I know that I put a lot of pressure on myself to do everything. I know that not many people in this league do that, and I do that consistently by putting a shit ton of pressure on myself, win, lose, to do every single thing on the floor: defend, rebound, pass, lead, assist. And I just feel like that's my calling, and I'm gonna make sure that I do that every night.
All right, Ray, the Wizards. Russ talked about the type of night he had. You want to just share your thoughts on that and the latest with them at the moment?
Yeah, man, he was on one the other night. We all saw the monster stat line. He's been even though they haven't been as successful as a team since the All-Star break, he's been putting up some pretty big numbers. I mean, he's averaging, I think, 21, 11, and 12 since they've been back. Like I said, it hasn't translated to wins, but they currently on a 2-game winning streak. They're playing tonight. They're down 6. Really doing what they can. Bill's out. One of their newest acquisitions, Daniel Gafford, he's out with an injury. They're missing their top scorer and their most athletic big. So you kind of almost expect them to struggle, seeing as how those the front line's been struggling all season, and then it's just hard for them without Bill. But they're hanging in there. Russ is having a pretty good game so far tonight. Another triple-double watch, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists in the first half. Rui, he's continuing his aggressive play. We talk a lot on the show about him needing to get comfortable in his role as the third option, but with Bill out, he's got to be the second option. So he's been filling those shoes nicely in the last couple games. Rui is up to 16 points and 4 rebounds so far on 6 to 10 shooting. It was looking pretty dismal coming out the break, but I think with the recent trades especially, it's starting to turn the corner a little bit. It kind of sucks that Gafford went down. We still don't know like what the timetable is on his return, but they still got Chandler Hutchison. He gives them some things that they need, versatility on the wing defensively. Another guy that can make shots. Cardell brought up his off the ball movement last night when we talked about him, and he's it's made it easy to plug him in. Because he just goes out there and plays basketball. He just fills the gaps where it's needed. So hopefully they can get back to full strength. Bill's hip gets right. Praying this Gafford thing isn't too serious, and he can get back in the groove. And Russ continues to do what he's doing, and Rui as well. With it's probably a little more freedom for him with Bill not there, because that's just one less person he's got to defer to. So, but Bill's eventually going to come back, and he's got to remain comfortable and confident to be aggressive to go get his, and not just get back to to deferring, because when he's forcing an issue, it opens things up for the Wizards, because it's just another person that you have to worry about. So their defensive struggles are continuing. Hopefully they can shore that up. But yeah, man, it's just when they take us into the depths of sorrow, they always give us a glimmer of hope. So so hopefully they can put together another run down the stretch, kind of like they did in February heading into All-Star break, and they can make a push for the postseason.
All right, Cardell, I know you want to talk about the NBA trade deadline just a little bit.
So do you want this to be a full discussion, or just want me to announce it?
We can discuss it a little bit. Why not?
All right. Well, let's start with the one that has, the Kobe upset. Obviously, the Spurs completed a buyout, agreement with LaMarcus Aldridge, and then he ended up signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Adds a lot of depth to that team that's already pretty deep. Just what are your thoughts on that? We're gonna start with you, Octavia.
It's funny because I was watching First Take this morning, and listening to Stephen A. cry about it all morning was kind of funny. But I I watch their show just because I like to hear their differences of opinions, and listening to both sides, I can kind of see both. I agree with Stephen A. I honestly didn't want LaMarcus Aldridge to go there just because I feel like it's just becoming too much at this point. But from the other side of it, I get why he would do it. Like, if you have the opportunity to go join them, why wouldn't you? I personally would have liked to see him go somewhere else. I can't really think of where I could think of for him to go. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that need him that he could help with, but you can kind of tell that they're all just trying to gear up because they want a ring. You know, it is what it is at the end of the day. That's the name of the game. They want to get a ring, and it's just the easiest way to do it, it looks like right now. So that's why I said, like, I get it on both sides. I would have rather, I mean, maybe one of them go somewhere else. Like, the fact that you got Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, and you got Katie, and you got Kyrie, and you got James, and you got Sex. Like, it's kind of getting ridiculous at this point. But name of the game, they want to ring. I can't blame them. They go where they want to go at this point. But yeah, I see both sides of it.
Ray,
I honestly don't want to hear it, man. You know, if you ain't have a problem in 2010 with not 1, not 2, not 3, then don't talk about it now, man.
Oh yeah, they can't say nothing.
Like, honestly, like,
that's who's crying the most, the coach.
and that's what it is. That's what the NBA is at this point, and you could thank that for it. Mm-hmm. So just
thank him.
Yeah, just take it. You know, if he would have signed with the Lakers, there wouldn't have been no issues.
Oh, of course not.
So I'm not trying to hear it, man. That's the name of the game, man. That's what they done turned the league into. So, you know, deal with it. It was all good when a certain person was stacking their teams, but you know, when ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, is it? You always gonna cry foul when you lose in the arms race. You know, when I'm sure Japan wasn't happy when they got an atomic bomb dropped on them. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like that's what the NBA is turned to, and this, like, personally, I don't like it. But you know, go ahead and do y'all, man. But if it's one group of people that shouldn't be crying about it, it's those LeBron fans, because it was cool when AD signed there, and it's cool whenever somebody's talking about signing with him. But when another person do it, it's everybody's stacking their team to beat LeBron. So who's he stacking his team to beat?
The Boston Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors. Damn sure the Nets, the Nuggets. Oh, my bad. I'm hating right now. Go ahead, finish.
And when it's okay for Drummond to go there. And
that was my next thing. Yeah.
If Drummond would have signed with the Nets, it's not fair. All right.
Oh yeah.
Cry me a river, man. if he was everything y'all said he was, it wouldn't matter. And that's another thing. Oh, they stacking up to be the 36-year-old LeBron. So if he win, oh, he by himself and with no help beat whoever, and if he lose, it's gonna be an excuse. So just go ahead and cry about it now. Like, I really don't care. Like, it is what it is, man. It's no use being upset about it, because that's the culture of the NBA right now. So yeah, maybe if people wanted to go play there, they would. They're signing where they want. They're taking their career into their own hands, right? That's what players do now, right? So yeah, suck it up, man.
Isn't he already trying to get Steph? But I'm hating. Go ahead.
I literally just read that.
After Ray so eloquently pretty much laid out the entire argument, I would just say go player empowerment. I don't really have anything else. Hashtag player empowerment. Don't get it. Y'all made a thing about they get to choose. So that means you gotta live with the choices, whether it's in your favor or not. But they got to choose. And I hate to be that person, but If you're telling me that you're more mad about two old dudes when you just got a 29-year-old out of a $30 million deal, something's not adding up here, man. I'm so sorry. You got a 6'10", 280-pound, 28-year-old man. They got a couple 33, 34, 35-year-olds. Why are you complaining? I don't get it. If everything goes in your... I don't get it. He's 29. I could legit understand if he went there. But you got the 29-year-old. They got two 30-something-year-olds. And also, you told us all the old people are dead anyways in the league. So it doesn't matter what's the whine for. Y'all be like, oh, man, they're 33. They're out of their prime. You're 18. Y'all got to make up your mind. Pick one.
I'm just going to say, look, I'm going to talk to the coach. Listen to me, coach. It's y'all fault. It's y'all fault that no one wants to go play with this guy. You know why? Despite the times he has lost, the rare times he wins, it's all about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about him. AD gonna learn soon enough. It's all about him. Players get tired of that because last time I checked, don't nobody score all the points, pass all the assists, get all the stops, rebound. It's never happened. If it could, look, Wilt would have had 15 rings. Wilt would have did it by now. He'd have put that joint. He'd have just owned the record book, call it a day. But it's not possible. It's a team game, and because you coach fans and the riding media that insist on just catering to this narrative about homie in LA, it is what it is. So you making other players go to other teams because they know if they beat this man, they would be appreciated. You see what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. Then on top of that, the media emphasizes winning championships. That's all that matters. That's what's driving players to go seek situations where they can win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
You talk trash about the Charles Barkleys and stuff. You got role players because they won a couple championships telling Charles Barkley that they're better than him. And that's not even nearly the case. See, I mean, Barkley is a franchise player, not a role player who just happened to be along. Like Isaiah Thomas said, it's the difference between being the driver of the bus and you being a passenger on the bus. Barkley was a driver. That's a whole nother level and stuff like that. And you got to respect it. But that's where, certain media members come and emphasize, yes, championships matter, but you have to be the one driving the bus and dominating for it to matter, man. You can't just like it's easy to do that. I mean, if you don't think if Mike would have said, I want out of Chicago and play with Magic and Bird, he would have won more championships? Like, okay, you don't get credit for taking the easy way out. And I just feel like that's where the league is now. But a certain player made it that way because he couldn't quite get on the hump and get it done. And media who want to maintain access to him, they roll with it. So now players are doing it. So now don't get mad at, we could just say, because y'all seem to be targeting one player, a local player, Kevin Durant. We can say it. Don't get mad at Kevin because he's a better GM than.
And more people would rather play with him, obviously.
Hey, look, okay. He wanted to play with Steph. I mean, y'all say LeBron's smart for getting all these players. Go and play with D-Wade and Bosh. All right, well, Kevin's smarter for going to play with the Warriors. Now he got with James, he got with the Kyrie, had in the box with James came over. Hey, Blake, come on over. Hey, LaMarcus, hey, Texas connection, baby. Same school, same coach. You come on over. He's just a better GM. I mean, y'all call him Go James. I mean, I'm just saying, how you gonna get mad at the man for being better at you in your own shit? So that's man. It's just.
Hey man, 35 inches on Spring Hill Entertainment neck too.
Hey, can you run through a couple of others though?
It's crazy, man.
Oh man, be over here laughing.
One that has my eyes in the East, Oladipo to the Rockets. They traded up Victor Oladipo not to the Rockets, traded him to the Miami Heat, and the Rockets got Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk in a 2022 pick swap. They already signed Trevor Ariza, traded from earlier. How do you think this boosts Miami in the East? As long as you out to.
I think it's going to be a really, really good pickup. I was already kind of salty about the Trevor Ariza because I kind of really like Trevor Ariza, and he sat most of the season out last year due to COVID. But I mean, to me, Trevor Ariza was a good pickup for them too. But then you coupled that with Oladipo, and I was watching. I can't remember what night it was, and Shaq was talking about how it's going to benefit Oladipo so much to actually be in a like a set system and kind of get back to the person that he was before, because we know what he's capable of, and he's always shown flashes of it. It's been hard ever since he had the injury, but I think Jimmy is that type of person that could bring that dog out of him again. Like, I feel like they're kind of similar, and I feel like they'll play well together. So it's gonna be tough getting through Miami again. Like, if everything works out, because you know how they have to get their chemistry together, and depending on how much time is left, that they have to do that. But I think it's a great pickup. It's probably one of the, I don't know if people consider it underrated because everybody's talking about, Drummond to LA and LaMarcus and Blake and all that other stuff. But like Oladipo to Miami, it definitely elevated them.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good pickup for them, man. Of course, Oladipo's talent is not in question. Mm-hmm. He just got to get back to himself. It's good that they don't need him to come in and be, Oladipo from Indiana right now, or they might not never need that level of production from him given what's around him. But he's a guy that can score, he can defend, he can play with the ball in his hand and without it. So yeah, man, and he was probably looking for a fresh start in a better situation anyway. So that always boosts your morale. And he's in South Beach, I
was like back to Florida at that because he liked being out there.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's that was a good move for them, and they got him without really giving up, anything big, So yeah, man, Pat Riley strikes again.
Wilson.
Yeah, Pat Riley doing Pat Riley things, man. This is the type of thing where it's a great rental, right? You find out if he's really he fits. From the outside, I think everybody thinks like he fits what the Heat represent. He could fit right there. He's a Heat culture type guy. Like, he should be a seamless fit. It's a stable organization. Mm-hmm. Which goes a long way for folks. Kind of a blueprint there to a degree. They've had success with a former combo guard. Obviously, y'all don't need to go crazy. Not saying he's that, just saying have had success with different type of guards. But yeah, you get an opportunity to find out if he fits, and if he fits, you get to go forward. That's a hell of a piece to have going forward. Mm-hmm. Especially when we saw just like last year how important Dragic was to this bunch, like his health. When Dragic's right, like Miami's a little bit different. And this is a younger guard that also has league experience, like good league experience already. So it's a good look for them, man. Just Pat Riley making sure the Heat continue to be the Heat, man.
All right, last one before we move on. One I think that is not being talked about enough. Clippers trade Lou Williams to the Hawks for Rajon Rondo. Just what are your thoughts on? Well, obviously the Clippers doing Lou Williams for solid, and not just sending him to exile, actually sending him home if they're going to send him anywhere where he's loved. And also the addition of Rondo to the equation for the Clippers, who just won a championship across the hall with the other team. Just what are your thoughts on? We're going to start with you again, Octavia.
First of all, I know Lou Will's happy to get back to Atlanta. We know how much he loves to be there. All the chicken wings he could ever imagine. First of all. But no, this is definitely another one that I think.
We mess with you, Bill. Come on, we mess with you.
It was a joke. But no, I definitely think this is another one that they haven't talked about enough. Because the Clippers wanted Rajon before the season even started. Excuse me. So it kind of they had to do a roundabout way to get him there. I just think it's crazy. If you just think about storylines alone, going from winning with the Lakers last year to now you with the Clippers. The same thing for Opposite for Harrell, who, was with the Clippers and now he's with the Lakers. So it's just another good storyline, but it's definitely what they needed. Like, I feel like they really, really missed having a actual point guard and a point guard with Rajon Rondo's IQ and a point guard that's going to be able to, like, tell them what it really is like to get over the hump and to actually win a championship. It takes some pressure off of Kawhi. It takes some pressure off of PG. Kawhi doesn't always have to handle the ball. They don't have to worry about really worrying for a point guard. I just think probably his biggest thing is just going to make sure that he stays healthy enough to be there. He's had injuries in the past, and he even had injuries last year, so we know how that can go. So as long as he can stay healthy and stay on the court, it should definitely work out for the Clippers. And, I mean, we didn't give the Clippers a pass last year. If they don't do it this year, we're not giving them a pass again, especially now that you got Rondo.
Right.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Octavia. He's the steady hand that they needed. Like last year and earlier this year, they Kawhi initiated a lot of their offense, and that's not his greatest attribute. He and it just puts too much on him. And Paul George has shared those responsibilities as well, but they need somebody to kind of set the table and get things streamlined in their offense. So that was a tremendous pickup for them. And beyond on the court stuff, just from a mental standpoint, experience standpoint, and we all know they got their sights set on the other LA team. He was just with them. He knows how they operate. He knows what they do. And if it's anybody that got a black belt and annoying people in the NBA, it's Rajon Rondo. Like, we already seen him messing with Schroeder when the Hawks played LA maybe a couple weeks ago. Bounced the ball off his head. He already starting the mind games with him. So if they end up playing in the playoffs, that is just going to continue. But yeah, great pickup. And also, they like Cardell said, they did Lou Will solid. Sending him back home, let him go ahead and finish out his career in Atlanta, where he's loved. He's going to get a proper send off there because he's one of those guys that will only get the recognition he deserved in a place like Atlanta, because people look at him as a six man, but he's a extremely valuable piece to every team he's been on. To be honest, those guys are important, man. Look at people like Ginobili or Vinnie Johnson or guys like that. That just come off the bench. They're just six men in title, but they're capable of being starters. And oftentimes play starters minutes. So I think in the grand scheme of things, guys like that are kind of undervalued and underappreciated. But yeah, tremendous pickup for the Clippers. Yeah, and like Octavia said, if they don't get it done this year, man, it might be time to rethink that thing.
Jerry Westwell, trust me.
We ain't got time for all that, man.
Wilson.
Just echo you guys' sentiments already. It's a great look. Obviously, classy move to make sure Lou doesn't get set to the NBA's version of purgatory somewhere at this age. That wouldn't be nice to anyone. And then the first thing that jumped out to me is obviously what it's going to do for the two high-paid guys on LA in terms of Paul and Kawhi. Let them get off the ball and be the annoying type of wings that they want to be. Like Ray said, I ain't got to worry about trying to make plays for everybody. You can do that on a genius level 4D chess that you play. I'm so excited what this means for Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann's been becoming more and more a vital piece to the rotation. He's closing games with them. He's on the floor with them either at the 2, 3, whatever. He's on the floor period with them in pivotal stretches. And I'm only imagining how quickly they can accelerate, like how this is going to impact him even going forward beyond this year. But even in this year, you throw him on the floor with those two, you throw a big on with, throw a big 1 through 4. Those are 4 annoying defensive bodies flying around alongside, like Ray said, one of the NBA's greatest irritants and Commander Rajon Rondo. So it's going to be fun. But I mean, that's what they need, man. Somebody to get them in order. Floor generals, for whatever reason, people just overlook the value in that, even though it's kind of really important. They have people to know how to organize what's on the floor. And it's going to make Ty Lue's job easier too.
Well, Rondo always said was one of the brightest minds I've ever seen up close. For people that don't know, the Players Union, the NBPA Top 100 camp, they have the 100 of the top high school players in the country come through, and some international players come and learn for like a week from actual NBA vets. And it's not just a program for them; it's actually a program for former players or current players to get some experience coaching, so that they have something on their resume to get started when they're done playing. So one year, one of those coaches was Rajon Rondo, and the thing is, they're head coaches, but they have assistant coaches that are like high school coaches and stuff like that know these kids to help them, adjust and get to that point. One year was Rajon Rondo. All I know is they ran through everybody. They was undefeated. Matter of fact, I forgot who he signed with right before LA, the year before LA. He signed with them, so he had to leave to go handle his business because the team called him. They still won the championship by like 30. That's how prepared he had them boys. The other thing, Rondo, he's so smart, he will get easy shots. I'm not worried about Kawhi and Paul George. But Paul George a little bit when he be trying to get too cute. I know Rondo is the asshole and leader enough to be like, yo, get your ass where you need to be and start playing around and get the shot. Because if he was like in his second or third year telling Paul and Ray, no, you're not getting the ball. And KG, no, you're not getting the ball right now. KG, shoot the damn ball. You ain't shooting enough, which Doc Rivers has stamped. You a bad mother to be telling them that you that young and really meaning that young. Like, you built different, man. It is what it is. Yeah, and everybody know that. Kobe said it. Yeah, I like Rondo. He's an asshole like me. Like, it's about winning. We're gonna tell you what it is. But I'm not necessarily worried about Kawhi and PG. I'm worried about the others: Luke Kennard, Batum, Serge Ibaka, Zubac. So like you said, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. Setting those guys up, getting those guys in proper areas where they can be threats, man. And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did for LA. Let's be real. They want to give old boy all the credit and stuff, and then AD, but they don't win that without Rondo. Rondo was different. He had big shots. He was orchestrating well. He got guys shots where they needed to go, where they needed to be. He ain't giving the ball. He was the difference, man. They couldn't do nothing with him. He was the difference in my opinion. So when you add that to the equation with this team, all he got to do is learn these guys, and it's a wrap. He probably already know them. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, Ty Lue will love him. Ty Lue ain't got to go horse no more yelling because Rondo will do all the yelling. And they're going to respect it because he's proven. He's won chips. He's led teams to chips as a young and a vet, man. And like Doc Rivers keeps saying, he said Rondo's probably the only playoff coach that know more than us. And he enjoys letting us know that he know more than us when we make the call. He's like, nah, we need to do this just to mess with us and stuff like that. So we got to be on our P's and Q's. So if the coaching staff know they got to be on their P's and Q's, the players damn sure they going to know. Because all Rondo going to do is be like, yo, Ty Lue, get him out, dog. He ain't ready. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. No competitor wants that happening. And Ty Lue will more than likely do it. So, yeah, it was a big move, underrated. And I can't wait to see him get in the mix and play.
All right, switching gears real quick. Talk a little bit about college basketball. We had some local prospects in the tournament. The tournament's moving along. Right now, we got folks fighting for their ticket to the Final Four. For you guys that don't know, just follow us on social media if you're not already. Within the Madness, both on the men's and the women's side, been knocking those out. It almost feels like a nightly basis. The NCAA tournament trying to get us out of here with this work. But Cardell, a couple folks you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, I'm just going to highlight local prospects on the men's and women's side that are still playing, still dancing right now. For people who may not know, Nia Russell, South Carolina women's, they actually beating the hell. They're beating the hell out of Texas right now, so she will still be active soon. She played at St. Vincent Pallotti, All-Met McDonald's, All-American. She hasn't got much playing time this year. They got a loaded backcourt, but you know how Dawn do. She just building her up. Listen, I understand. Look, freshman, sometimes it's okay not to play at first. You got to learn. You don't have to always transfer, but that's a whole nother discussion. So that's one. Obviously, Hunter Dickinson in Michigan. He's one freshman that's been starting doing what he do from day one. Michigan center out of DeMatha. Terrence Williams, backup forward for Michigan. He went to Gonzaga. He's a freshman as well. Sayla Poffenbarger, I don't think she's active yet. I think she just enrolled early. UConn out of Middletown High School. You will hear a lot about her with UConn coming next year with the mob they about to have. Murray McLean, another UConn Husky. Roland Park County, she's a freshman. She's learning just like an I. They going through their growing pains, but I'm pretty sure she'll get her number called a lot next year. Lauren Ebo out of Texas, Riverdale Baptist, junior center. A lot of people don't know they got local products down there too. Last but not least, Flo Thamba, Baylor big man. He played at Mountain Mission School in Virginia. So as you can see, the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, as usual, year in, year out, players everywhere making noise. So, just keep an eye on them as the tournament keeps going.
All right, and then wrap up this segment. Maryland women's. If you guys haven't heard by this time, Texas, 16 Texas took them down. 64-61. Charlie Collier with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Diamond Miller had 21, 8 rebounds and 2 blocks for Maryland. Vic Schaefer, he dialed it up on defense, but it was really, talking last night. It's really just Maryland. Texas was able to get Maryland out of sorts. Maryland's done a pretty good job this year. They'll get up, they'll get down, but they can kind of come back to that middle and stay calm. Texas had them all types of away from calm, and they could not find their way back to it, and it cost them. It cost them greatly. Texas was the mentally tougher team, and it paid dividends. It was 59-59 late in the game. Maryland goes to run a set they've run all year, kind of lazily. Kara Lambert jumps in there, pokes the ball loose at 61-59. And a defensive fight like that, those little things add up. And Texas was just a little bit tougher with they were just better at keeping their composure. It was just that simple. Now Maryland went home early, and this is going to be another one of those years when you're wondering what could have been because you didn't take care of the little things, like keeping your composure. It plays a big role, and we've seen teams go out on both sides because they're not being able to stay present, stay calm, and focus on the little things, especially down the stretch of games. It will cost you. We're going to take our first break of tonight, and when we get back, USA Women's Basketball. Quick little update for you guys. Look forward to sharing that with y'all. And, the 9450 breakdown is coming as well. You're watching the Focus TV. All right, welcome back. As promised, USA Women's Basketball, they got a lot going on right now. They just wrapped up a training camp for the USA Women's National 3x3, 3-on-3. I keep saying 3x3 because I would spell it in emails, and my brain's not here. I'm just trying to get to tomorrow. 3-on-3 camp, and then today they opened one of the women's national team training camps for 5-on-5 basketball. So we had the pleasure today just sitting in on a Zoom call. Of course, it was Sue Bird and Diana. You already know what that discussion was mostly about. Not going to let you guys wonder too much. I'm sure probably by tomorrow, Cardell's going to have some great clips up on our social media accounts for you guys to check out. I was there for the whole time, and it's definitely. I'm looking forward to what clips he pulls. Let me say it like that. Diana was Diana. If you think about how the UConn Baylor game ended last night, think about Diana's response. And anywhere in between there, you're probably right. Right? They talked about not only Paige, it was a lot of Paige talk, but they also talked about Ari McDonald. Sue Bird gave a great little scouting report. Ari McDonald talked about how great it was for Arizona to get to their first Final Four, and for their coach, Adia, what that meant for her getting to do that, what it meant to Sue. And they also talked about Caitlin Clark. We had a discussion on Within the Madness, Raymond, Cardell, and myself, about the whole one and done on the women's side. And of course, a couple questions were asked today. So Sue, Diana, Diamond DeShields, I think Sil was asked a question about, I'm not too sure. But we got some very good responses about that. And pretty much it all boils down to, like, whenever they get to that point, they would like for there to be a choice, because it's the least you can do is let the woman be afforded that opportunity. Whatever the choice may be, the choice may be. They also, Diamond Shield was talking about how important it is to get a degree and what that means. But again, she also said, yeah, I left early, but I have my degree. But if she did it again, it would depend, because now with the new CBA, they're finally getting paid a little bit more. It's not exactly what they deserve, but it's a little bit more. It's a step in the right direction. But yeah, prior to the new CBA, I wouldn't have left school early neither, because you do what Diamond did. If you're going to leave school early, go overseas and get paid. If it's from a monetary perspective, because you're not getting it here. And then Sue said that was part of the last rounds of negotiations in the CBA, but it wasn't a high enough priority because of all the things that had to get done, which was getting the pay scale up a little bit. So it's something that was already brought to the table. She said, obviously, it's something they're going to talk about going forward. So that was cool. Then I had opportunity to ask Diamond what it meant to have Candace Parker join the Sky. So Cardell's going to have that for you guys, the Focus TV. It's not that hard. Yeah, I'm really going to be like that. I'm not sharing anything more. Follows on Twitter, Facebook, all that. And he'll have that video up tomorrow. And then Diana being Diana, it's not even a surprise quote. But I'm going to paraphrase: NCAA is a joke without a treat. Women's sports, all facts, no lies here. But that was pretty much that. But what we're going to do before we go into our second break, Natasha Cloud, Ariel Atkins, they addressed the media following practice from the 3-on-3 camp. And then you got 9-4-50 breakdown. Jamal Hayward this week, he's breaking down a toe tap or a step back. Again, it's a toe tap or step back. And then we'll have our second break. And we probably got time for a little bit of rapid fire. You're watching the Focus TV, but again, let you guys enjoy this sound from Natasha and Ariel.
Nice to talk with you again. What does it mean to you to be a part of USA basketball?
I mean, it means a lot. It's the best of the best, in my personal opinion. They choose the best players in our country to go represent our country. So it's definitely like the top of the totem pole for me as a basketball player as far as my career.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Jen Hatfield?
Hey, Ariel. Just curious, when you got invited to practice with the 3-on-3 team this weekend, why did you decide that this was a good opportunity for you? And can you tell us a little bit about how everything's been going?
Yeah, well, I'm getting used to it. I'll definitely tell you 3-on-3 is different. You got to have the lungs for it. But it's challenging. It's something that I want to do. And I'm excited that they called me to be a part of it because it is a challenge for me. The game is constantly moving. And it's something that I think would also help me in my 5-on-5 game as far as like transitioning from one play to the next. And also it's fun. It's kind of like, I like to call it glorified pickup. I mean, there are rules to it, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. And it's definitely fun. And I think people are going to end up loving it.
If I can follow up on that real quick, I know Tosh is with you on 3-on-3 and how has it been getting to play with her again, and has that chemistry come back pretty quickly?
Well, I mean, this is her first time playing in a little while. So definitely it's been a little up and down, but more up than down, just because we're both kind of getting in the groove of being in 3-on-3 for our first time. Honestly, has nothing to do with us having the opportunity to play together in DC or not. It's just 3-on-3 is a little different. Like I said, it's constantly moving. So there's not a lot of scheming that we're really doing right now. We're honestly just trying to figure out how to play within the rules and kind of the system that they already have in place here.
And we'll go to Grady.
Hi, Ariel. Grady Diaz here. So you mentioned, needing the lungs to play this 3x3. What did you work on in the off season that you feel like is helping you right now?
Well, that part, my cardio, honestly, just trying to make sure that I can withstand going up and down and being in games longer versus also understanding when I can exert more energy and not, and then get into the rack. I think adding that level to my game will open up the other two levels that I'm able to do.
My girl, Pepper.
Gosh, how are you doing?
What's up, Pepper? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be talking with you today. Now, what are some of the things you enjoy about 3-on-3 that are different than 5-on-5?
That's a phenomenal question. 3-on-3 is much fast paced. You play nonstop. If you score a basket, you got to go play defense real quick. So it challenges you a lot. It challenges your one-on-one moves. It challenges your movement off the ball. It challenges you to be a really good teammate and to know player tendencies. So it's been a really cool experience for me. I think it's about to blow up and be one of the biggest games worldwide. But it's it's exciting. That's what I love most about it.
And then can you talk about working with Kara Lawson and what your experience has been with her so far?
When I came into the league in 2015, Kara was my vet on the Mystics. And so I had the pleasure of playing with Kara for 2 years and really just learning how to be a professional, just watching her, lead by example, lead vocally. But I've always appreciated Kara, her mind, her knowledge of the game, her passion for the game. Even as a commentator, I think she just sees the game from a different point of view. And so it's been a true blessing to be able to learn under her and then to come into this 3x3 and again, just, soak up all her information. She's one of the OGs and the pioneers of our league. So the more that I can pick her brain, the better that I'm going to be as a player, not only, representing USA, but then also representing the Mystics as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pepper. Tell your parents I say hi.
Will do.
And we'll go to Jonathan next.
Thank you, Caroline. Natasha, Jonathan Tannenwald from Philly Inquirer.
What's up, Jonathan?
Good to see you. Hope all is well. What's it been like getting back into the rhythms of life on and off the court after last year and now getting back into playing more often? I'm sure it's as much off the court as it is on.
Yeah, it's been really hard to get back in shape after taking the year off. Obviously, we're in the middle of the pandemic still, and I'm very conscious of protecting myself, my wife, and my family. So I've only really been able to get on the court and do one-on-one workouts with my trainer, James Clark. So this was a huge advantage for me to come and be with Team USA and just get a feel back for it. I had my first day on the court yesterday, and I felt great. I didn't feel rusty. I felt a little winded for sure, but I felt good to be back out there with the best of the best. And I'm really just challenging myself to get ready for training camp coming up on April 24th.
Today we're going to work on some footwork here for a quick move off of a combo move or even just off of one dribble. This move will look familiar when I go over it. See it more so from James Harden. He's really good at it for 3-ball, step backs, mid-range shots, doesn't matter. He uses this a lot to create separation, okay? It is considered a toe tap, but it's somewhat of a step back as well also too. So there's several different ways you can set this up. So I can just walk towards my defender. LeBron uses it very much so as also too. So we're here, up. Okay, so slow, come back. Same thing with the left hand. Slow, up, snatch it back, okay? Same thing off of a combo move, okay? I can be here, up, or here, up. So now we're gonna throw shots with it. So here with my left hand, between, up, shot. Or I can just go between, left hand. Other ways also. Several different ways to set that move up. So, plant, come back. Up, slow, quick, come back. Today we're gonna work on some footwork here for a quick move, off of a combo move, or even just off of one dribble. This move will look familiar when I go over it. See it more so from James Harden. He's really good at it for the 3-ball, step backs, mid-range shots, doesn't matter. He uses this a lot to create separation, okay? It is considered a toe tap, but it's somewhat of a step back as well also too. So there's several different ways you can set this up. So I can just walk towards my defender. LeBron uses it very much so as also too. So we're here, up, okay? So slow, come back. Same thing with the left hand. Slow, up, snatch it back, okay? Same thing off of a combo move, okay? I can be here, up, or here, up. So now we're gonna throw the shots with it. So I'm here with my left hand, between, behind, between, up, shot. Or I can just go between, left hand. Other ways also. Several different ways to set that move up. So, plant, come back. Up, slow, quick, come back.
Welcome back to the Focus TV. As always, we want to thank Jamal Hayward for knocking out the breakdown each and every week. All right, Cardell, we got time for a rapid fire question. What you got for us this week, man?
Something I think will have y'all interest. NFL owners approved the expansion of the regular season to 17 games today. A long expected decision that will generate additional revenue for the country's richest sports league. Players agreed to the additional game as part of their 2020 collective bargaining agreement, which gave the league an option to expand as soon as the 2021 season. The preseason will be reduced from 4 games to 3 to maintain compliance with the CBA, which limits the total number of preseason and regular season games played to 20. There will remain 1 bye week per team. The season will begin on Thursday night, September 9th, and will end on January 9th, 2022. The Pro Bowl will be played on February 6th, 2022 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And the Super Bowl will be played at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. And that's been pushed back 1 week from February 6th to February 13th, 2022. What are your thoughts on the additional regular season game? Ms. Octavia, I know you have a lot to say about this.
I actually don't, which is kind of weird, right? To me, like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, you got one less preseason game, which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I only pay attention to preseason. It's just me. And you got an additional game. Like, it's been talked about. Maybe they didn't think it would happen so fast, or whatever you may have, but it don't bother me. I don't know.
Raymond.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much to talk about. Took a game from the preseason, I added to the regular season. For the players that are complaining, you signed off on it. So, I mean, deal with it or retire. I mean, I don't. It's not too much to discuss. I mean, one more week of competitive football. I mean, I don't know how much this changes things, but apparently people aren't in favor. But again, it's what both sides agreed on. So gotta suck it up, Buttercup. Just is what it is at this point.
Wilson.
This is another great example of the NFL. And there's Players Association. I don't know what y'all be doing. Y'all have to be asleep at the wheel. Because I'm not too bright, right? But paying a little bit of attention. Y'all out here, your free agency market just took the biggest L in the world because the cap went down almost $15 million. In the same free agency period, they just added a 17th game for revenue purposes. You didn't get an additional bye week. And what were y'all doing? I don't quite understand this. Because in my mind, if you're able to do this in a pandemic, butts haven't been in seats outside of sparingly, but money was made. Your money went down. More TV deals, streaming deals now, a new way for things to be broadcasted. New deals were made. What were y'all? Were y'all asleep at the wheel the entire time? I don't quite understand it. Time and time again, y'all just don't get on the same page, and it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. You really sat here during this compressed market, and I guarantee you that cap's going magically, accidentally. Some folks are like, oh yeah, the cap might be back up by 2023. If y'all playing 17 next year, that cap back up next year. So all y'all that sign these 1-year deals, you know what's gonna happen next year? Some of you guys are 1 year older. The way these rookies been coming in, it's not for long league. Y'all not. Some of y'all missed that second contract money, and it happened to be this year. It's gone. It's gone.
One last point for the NFL. I can't be claiming that y'all have the players' best interests at heart as far as health and stuff. Y'all add another game. These dudes can barely make it through a 16-game schedule. I know it may seem like one game, but that game means something. So that's just more. Let's face it, preseason, it's flag football. They just going out there running around. But that extra game, some people gonna get hurt, and some people ain't gonna make it to the playoffs, man. And all it takes is for one of the golden boys to go down, then it's gonna be a big uproar or whatnot. But like I said, we talked about this a lot, man. I don't have any sympathy. No disrespect to the player. I just don't have any sympathy because Kaepernick gave y'all out twice, and y'all blew them. Y'all effed up the money over ego, not coming together. Y'all could have got what y'all wanted, and things could be a lot better for y'all right now. Y'all wouldn't have to deal with this and probably be making more money despite the pandemic because it would be a legally binding to do. But, y'all mess it up. So, NFL, no disrespect. It's one league I just don't have any sympathy for. I'm just like, deal with it. It is what it is. It's on you, Walter.
I mean, you can't. I'm with you. You can't. Y'all have had 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities. Like, if anything, man, we wouldn't have played this year without some guarantees and some things changing somewhere. Like for example, everybody know my Niners fan. Something.
Let's start there.
My Niners fan or whatever. They had their state, the state they were operating in, would not let them operate. They had to pick up shop and move to another state to finish the season. And then you go into free agency and it's $18 million less in free agency. Oh my goodness.
You're making my point, bro. You making my point.
No, I'm with you, guys.
Because now, feel me on this. So that means owners gonna be even more grimy this season because of the money they lost, right? So players who would normally get banged up, they would normally kind of get, all right, we'll sympathize with you a little way, get healthy. They're not gonna have that no more. So they're gonna have to fight the injuries. They're not gonna make it. Now you add another game on to that. So it's gonna be bad, man. Y'all watch. It's gonna be bad for some things to be. Honestly, your 49ers had to deal with something like that, with a lot of injuries and stuff like that. So it's gonna be bad, man. And then if you injured and they gonna, some owners gonna be like, make a decision. Do you want to, or we gonna cut you right now? You don't get nothing. So they're gonna be out there left around to play just to maintain their lifestyle, to maintain the money, be able to pay bills. On top of that, you got another game to do that.
You preaching, and all them owners don't care about you. You might have some owners that you might accidentally have an owner organization that'll look out and understand. Like Jed paid for all that out of pocket. Some owners, they're not gonna care at all. And then you got some teams you didn't plan. You weren't fiscally responsible from an operation standpoint before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit. Those teams, man, y'all out here just cut finding. I don't think people understand. Did y'all understand? Not you guys, but there's a lot of people that got signed this off season where only one of the years of the deal was guaranteed. Like voidable years became popular this year. In a pandemic, voidable year. Voidable years, and it was talked about as there was media members carrying the water as if it is it's a trend, as if there's some positive spin on that. Oh man, so signed for 5 years. Word. By the way, 4 of them were 4.5 of them were voidable.
Not 4.5 though. He only got 6 months.
You heard it, you want, man.
It's so bad.
Oh my God!
And on top of it, like you said, you added into the game. You're not getting you're not getting extra pay. You took away. You're not getting extra bye week, and they're negotiating. Is to determine whether the offseason, like OTAs and all that stuff, is going to be in person or virtual. That's being negotiated. So they even. That's on y'all. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch up with y'all next week. I just, like Cardell said, man, I lost sympathy and empathy for that group a while ago. You did it to yourselves. I just don't get it. But they just leveled up in a pandemic and you leveled down somehow.
I can't wait to see the game.
Right.
I'll have another week of fantasy football. I don't know.
Just be thankful Nate's on the roster because you're gonna need him.
I hope these years are voidable, okay? Void all those years.
The sad part is because of betting in fantasy football, there's more money being made and you still got guys.
Yeah.
You still got guys. Like legal gambling, like betting, all that. Y'all have a good night. For Octavius, Cardell, Ray, and myself. If you ever negotiate, don't be like those folks. Look out for your best interest, man. Try to. We will see you next week, same time, same place, right on Focus TV. Don't forget, every Friday night, 10 p.m., DC TV is where you need to go to catch us. If you don't catch it on Friday night, just get over to dctv.org and look up the schedule. It re-airs throughout the weekend. And like I told you guys a little earlier, you definitely want to get over to the Focus TV on Twitter and Instagram tomorrow, because like I said, I can't wait to see what Cardell cuts up from USA Women's availability. Some quality stuff, man. Y'all know Diana Taurasi and a camera and a mic. That's usually all you need, and things will be said. So y'all have a good one.